How much money do you make a year before taxes?
Yeah, I'm actually not comfortable answering that.
Come on! We're doing the interview now, not you.
All right, so for this Browns Backers interview, please help me welcome, hailing from the Sports Den in Northville, Michigan, an officer of the Southeast Michigan Browns Backers, Dave. Dave,
guys.
Thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
Wonderful, especially after Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to follow up. Be the one that follows a win.
It's always a fun week after they win.
Yeah. So, Dave, tell us. I know you're an officer of the Southeast Michigan Browns Backers. Can you tell us a little bit about your chapter?
Yeah, well, we started in 2005, and we were very, very active. We had up to 3 viewing locations and well over 100 weekly visitors. We supported charities like Toys for Tots and Pickerington School for the Blind up here. So it was quite a great thing. We had a VP from Domino's was our founder and put a lot of energy into the club. Over the last few years, it's diminished somewhat for a lot of reasons, but we still have a solid core at the Northville Sports Den, which is a western suburb of Detroit. And we still chant every time they score a touchdown, assuming they make the extra point too. And, occasionally have raffles like we'll be doing this Sunday, to help raise money for our efforts.
Absolutely. And do you guys, I know you said it's diminished a little bit, but are you guys still doing any sort of events? I know you said you have a raffle this week, but do you have anything else coming up?
Not specifically. I'm still, this hat I got at the draft when they had it at Detroit last year. So that was cool to be able to see an Ohio State guy and a Michigan guy get drafted on the second day, and be up there with the Browns supporters right up near the front row. It was a great experience. So that's one of the things that Browns Backers clubs get to do when they have drafts in their cities. They invite them to be part of that contingent.
Oh, nice. I will have to agree to disagree a little bit. I don't ever like the Browns drafting guys from that team up north, but you guys are from up there, so I'm not going to hate too hard. I'm not going to hate too hard.
Dave, have you always been in Michigan, or did you grow up in Cleveland?
I actually grew up in Toledo, which is right across the border. My dad grew up in Cleveland area, so when I was a little kid, I'd see him get all excited on Sunday afternoons and yell and scream, and it wasn't at me, so I figured that's a good thing. So that's how I got to be a Browns fan. Kind of took on a life of its own from there. We followed them through the Cardiac Kids and the great teams of the mid to late 80s. And then, of course, through the betrayal, the rebirth, and everything since.
We mentioned college football there just a second ago. Growing up in Toledo, were you a fan of the team up north, or are you a fan of Ohio State?
Interesting you should say that. My parents were Ohio State fans because they say that's where we pay our taxes. We support that school. Me, I was a Michigan fan because one of my very first football memories was an Ohio State head coach punching an opposing player during a bowl game and getting fired for it. So me being a Catholic schoolboy, I'm like, I can't root for them. So that made me a Michigan fan. Many years later.
So let me get this straight. You guys were literally living the war, the only 2 states that ever declared war on each other. You guys were living it in Toledo, in the city that the war was literally over.
That's right. And there was all these stores called Buckeye Wolverine shops where you could get gear from both teams, depending on your preference. But many years later, my mom ended up taking a job with the University of Michigan. So they finally came over to the Maize and Blue.
I want to be sick.
I gotta say, to be honest, most people that grew up Michigan fans here that were part of our generation, they don't really have a good reason to be Michigan fans.
True, that's a good.
This is actually a pretty legitimate
I mean, that wasn't a good look.
I can
a coach punching a player is not a good look. It is what it is.
I forgive you, Dave.
Yeah,
thank you. And my girlfriend, who lives with me now, she's a born and bred Ohio State fan as well as
there we go.
A member of our Browns Backers chapter, even longer and stronger than I have been. So
nice.
We have both alliances and friendly rivalries over the weekends.
Well, listen, college football aside, it's like politics, but we just won't talk about it right now. you are a Browns fan, so obviously we're friends. But you are a pretty big Browns fan. I hear that you actually have done something special that not many people have done when it comes to the Cleveland Browns. Can you tell us about that?
Well, back in 2002, there was this new thing on the internet called blogs. And so I figured I'll start a blog. I didn't see any other blogs about the Cleveland Browns. And so I adopted a pen name called Ace Davis. And I started a blog, and it got picked up by a website that was called Bernie's Insiders. Now it's, Scout. It's in the Scout Network, 247 Sports. So I did that. Now it lives at Browns Plainly. And then after years of doing that, I'm like, I'm going to take some of the research I've done and create a book of Cleveland Browns lists. Like when I was a kid, there was this book called The Book of Lists, and it was just listicles, And so I did that for the Browns and had an experiment in self-publishing that in 2015. And it was a great experience. And it's been a giveaway at our club and things like that. So it was a fun project.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Where's that book available?
Oh, it's called Brown for the Count, a compendium of Cleveland Browns lists. You can find it on Amazon still. I have a few boxes still in my closet. So
nice.
So Dave was one of the original pioneers of social media, blogging, and
blogging. That's what
we now live in.
If you really think about it, like blogging is basically what led to podcasts. That's where it started.
Exactly.
It was our predecessor.
So thank you.
So are you still blogging today, Dave?
Not actively. The site is still live at brownsplainly.com. And we have feeds of, latest Browns news and podcasts and everything like that. But, I've moved on to other things. I'm a journalist and I have another business, and, the blogging is kind of like, it's really, the ecosystem has changed with social media and the immediacy of it. I don't have inside contacts with the team. So it's kind of hard to find the energy and the ideas to produce content in that format on a regular basis anymore.
Yeah, it gets tough in today's world.
Yeah. No, very cool, though.
We know.
Very cool.
Well, listen, let's turn our attention to this weekend's game. Obviously, the Browns are coming off a huge win. Who do you think's going to win the game this weekend, and why?
Well, my heart wants the Browns to win, of course. I've seen a lot of both of these teams, though, and I have to pick the Lions as the stronger team right now on both sides of the ball, especially they have a great offense. And so I think probably something like 26-12 sounds about right.
It's hard to argue that with how we're going. and it's really frustrating, and I know we're going to spend a lot of our show talking about it, but that defense is so good, and we're just squandering it.
It's I'm pleasantly surprised with our rookie class overall, and especially on defense. So they've been fun to watch, and it's good to be back where we're having first round picks again. So there's hope for the future. So we kind of dug ourselves a hole over the last couple of years, and we're still, to some extent, I think, feeling the hangover from that.
Yeah, Dave, obviously, as our boots on the ground there and behind enemy lines, Dan Campbell's pretty cantankerous. Is he well beloved in that city right now? I mean, obviously they've had success there, but are his antics, growing tired at all, or is it pretty much all love there for Coach?
As far as I can see, if the team's doing well, it seems like he's a player's kind of coach. And if he's getting the most out of his squad, the town is behind him. At some level, the shtick runs thin, but I really have to applaud their late game call there to throw the ball on fourth down to put that game away. And I was just looking at Susan, my girlfriend, and said, that's just the way they roll. I mean, that he's got, he's got cojones.
Yeah, that he does.
He's got something our coach lacks, but that's a whole other story. Well, listen, Dave, we would love to stay on and talk to you all night. Unfortunately, in order to get to the rest of our show, we only got like 10 minutes for this. So,
that's cool.
We really appreciate it. We hope to catch up with you if we're ever up in Michigan during a game. I hope to never go to Michigan, but if we're ever up in Michigan during a game, then we will definitely come and find you guys and hang out with the Southeast Michigan Browns backers. So,
All right, we'd love to have you.
all right, thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
We're the Southeast Michigan Browns backers, and you're listening to the Burning River Sportscast. Go Browns.